The Cap and J Hood podcast is sponsored by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Go to Tito'sHometownTales.com and hear the stories of Chicago's defining sports moments through the lens of your favorite ESPN 1000 hosts. That's Tito'sHometownTales.com.
Chicago, this is your new morning routine. Cap and J Hood. Follow Cap J Hood on Twitter and Instagram. Stream the show on the new ESPN Chicago app. Watch the show on Twitch. Follow ESPN 1000 Chicago. Now, on ESPN 1000, Chicago's home for sports. David Kaplan and Jonathan Hood.
07 and we'll watch them fall.
That one fair ball inside the bag at first. In to score Contreras. Wisdom on his heels. Baez a two-run single. On the ground is short, and it's under the glove of Adames out into left center. Running towards first. That's going to get a run. Everybody's safe. Inside off the glove of Narvaez all the way to the wall. In to score is Moon. Broken bat. That's that one falling. And it falls. In to score Alcantara. Arrieta on his heels. An embarrassment of riches. It's 7-0.
What is that, sign language?
7.
3-2 pitch. Runners go way inside. A tally on the board. Of the divisions. Ooh, that ball's hit. Urias will watch it fly. Brewers are chipping away. Two-run home run for Urias makes it 7-3 Cubs. Don't go anywhere. This was not over. Phillies. Slow roller. Tough play. Arrieta pounces. Throw to first. And it gets by. One run is in Adames. Narvaez going to keep on trucking. And two will score. Wisdom is down. That's down the line. Oh, knocked down by Sogard. In the score is Taylor. Castanheira with a base hit and an RBI. The claws are up. It's a one-run game. Brothers deals. And that's through. Base hit. One is in. Adames. Here comes Taylor. Throw to the plate. And safe. The Brewers lead. Oh, what a slide. Wow. Yeah, a lot of baseball left. Yeah, we just started. That's down. A base hit. Here comes Peterson. Throw goes to third. Another run is in. It's 9-7. A one pitch. Oh, look out. Almost got him. Did it get him? It did. He hit him. And another run will score. Adames in the air, right center. Ball's hit well. Marisnik on the run. And it is up and out. It's a grand slam. It is 14-7. Urias has had a day. Again, that ball's hit hard into left center field. That one is back, and it hits the wall and goes out of here. Luis Urias, his second home run of the day. 4 runs batted in, his second homer, and the Brewers are up 15-7.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Woo! Bring 'em out, bring 'em out, bring 'em out, bring 'em out. Woo! Bring 'em out, bring 'em out. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out. Bring 'em out, bring 'em out.
Yeah, we were there. Hoodie and I took a luxury, beautiful Windy City Limos motor coach with a bunch of fine listeners and sponsors and ad execs, marketing people, and watched history yesterday. We watched history. We'll get into the embarrassment that is the Chicago Cubs. The wrecking ball has got to be moving towards 1060 West Addison. We'll get into it. But we had a lot of fun yesterday.
Yes, indeed. We were able to roll out the barrel in Milwaukee and have a great time watching the Brewers and the Cubs. But here's the thing. Here's what I like, man. Boy, you selected some great listeners and those that were able to be part of our trip. And we thank those that were part of it. Plenty of Miller Lite, to go around for everybody.
I've seen people drink, and I've seen people drink. Man, they get after it.
Well, I mean, you think about this, man. A businessman special at AmFam Stadium, right? American Family Stadium. It's a businessman special. You're on a bus. You're on the bus with me and you and everybody else, and people were just fully croissant and had a great time to be able to watch some baseball during the day. On a beautiful day, by the way. On a beautiful day. The roof was closed.
It was.
It was, but you know what? It was still a wonderful day just to be out. What I love about this rivalry or this matchup with the Cubs and Brewers is that you get this cross-section of fans, right? You know, when the Cubs were up 7-0, you can detect who the Cub fans were. Plenty of them. It was a mixture as we were walking into the stadium of just a sea of Cub fans, different uniforms, different years. That's the thing about the Cubs uniform, how it's evolved over the years, how you see like maybe 7 or 8 different types of Cubs uniforms. And then you get the old school Brewers uniforms as well, and the new school. They still love their old school Brewers up there, man. No matter what you've seen, like a Jeff Jenkins and a Surhoff and those guys, or a Prince Fielder, they still love those old school Brewers. We're looking around the stadium, and they're still celebrating the 82 Brewers from back in the day. Ben Ogilvy, if you will.
Jimmy Gantner.
Jimmy Gantner, as you pointed out to me yesterday. They still love, I mean, it has not been the rich tradition of championships for the Brewers, but they still love their team. And I love how both sections of fans were getting after it yesterday.
Yeah, they got after it, and we had a blast on the bus and just having fun talking baseball. And then Travis made a great announcement.
Yes.
Travis from our promotions department. Mm-hmm. Travis Wacker, who's awesome. If you're going to be making any sports wagers, make sure you do it before we hit the state lines because Wisconsin doesn't allow sports gambling.
Yes. And, you know, Seamus, our driver, was flooring it. So you had to make sure that you locked in your bets because we were getting close to the Wisconsin border quickly.
Yes.
So people scurrying to their phones. Oh, God.
I got to play the over. Arietta sucks.
Cub sucks. All right, here we go. And then I'm telling you, and Cap fumbling with his phone. He goes, well, what are we going to? I was like, well, Las Vegas Aces. Take that.
I had them.
Take the Sky. I'm giving you your WNBA bets.
So I'm trying to put this massive parlay together before Seamus gets the bus geolocated into Wisconsin.
Yes.
And I said, they're starting this rookie kid, Ashby. Mm-hmm. He's highly regarded. All right. I didn't play the total.
No. Why would you?
And one of the guys in the back of the bus, he's like, I got to put more money in my account. I'm going to pound this over. I'm like, you think so? It's Jake Arrieta. He said to me, it's Jake Arrieta. Yes, play the over.
Well,
it went by a mile.
Well, listen, I said that because it's Ashby, a kid, he'd be rattled by the Cubs. I said, you know, after getting beat down the last couple of games, I said the Cubs are going to win. And the people on the bus, he goes, Jay Hood, you think the Cubs are going to win today? I go, yeah, the Cubs are going to win today. You know, every time I say that, they lose. Because it was a great bet, right? Arrieta, if he's got nothing, at least the Cubs will take on a rookie. Now, it can go one way or the other, right? You could be the rookie that you don't really pay attention to. You don't look at the film. You don't read the scouting report. But I said, you know, the Cubs. And I felt good about hitting the Cubs. Boom, money line. Felt good about it. 7-0. I'm strutting around like a peacock. Like, here we go, Cap. Take that.
Yeah.
My team.
He said to me, you should have played it. I had a parlay going with the Brewers on the money line. I'm like, they're not beating that team. It's 7-0. Hoodie is strutting the skybox like a peacock. What I tell you, and then my buddy Rob sends me a text. Guess what I just did? 7-0. I just played the Brewers at plus 1,300. Oh, good for you. Yeah.
And that paid like 26. What is it?
He had, I want to say $200. I think he got back like 2,800. Yeah.
First of all, that's testicular fortitude. That's balls.
That's balls.
To say, yeah, we're up 7-0. We're going to lose the game. Really? In game. I would have never done that. I would think, okay, 7-4, 7-5, 8-5, 9-5, Cubs win. Something like that, right? If Arrieta has nothing, it's like, Cubs got a big enough lead. Clearly not.
Oh, my God. Danny, you know what really irked me? And we'll get into it in our next segment. What really irked me, it's 7-0. Wisdom's got 2 hits. I'm like, this dog meat lineup we're running out there, actually, they're putting the ball in play.
So you saw the lineup before anybody else on the bus, and you're reading it to me. I go, what do you got? You got Contreras, Wisdom, Peterson, Baez as a cleanup hitter.
Right.
It's like, what kind of, after the pennant win is this? What kind of lineup is this?
And you got Alcantara. Was he in there?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm looking at this lineup. I'm like, wow. But Chris Bryant was still injured.
Yeah.
And can I just ask a question?
No, you can't. Just go ahead. Just what about the bus trip?
Like, Khalil Mack gets in a car accident every play. Right?
Yeah.
Like every play.
Yeah, it's a series of car accidents. Yes, when you're
Roquan Smith, every single play has an offensive lineman who outweighs him by 70 pounds, blast into him, pop right back up, let's go. God, our guys are injured all the time.
I understand, but we want to thank everybody that was on the bus. We wish you were with us because it was just a great time just to be able to walk in that ballpark, and especially it was filled with Cub fans, clearly, because there was a guy with a Sandberg jersey. There was a couple others that had like a Lambert.
Yep.
He had a jersey, too. So at least, there's a lot of Cub fans that were disappointed, but I think they really had a good time. And I hope that we have more of trips like this, the Businessman Special.
It was done first class, man. The spread, we're getting into the skybox, and the spread was awesome. And there's all that Miller Lite and High Life. People had a good mood. And then it's 7-0 Cubs. We're like, wow, this is awesome.
I'm old school, right? I'm old school when I was able to dig through the cooler. Everyone's got Miller Lites. High Life. There you go. It's old school because the label on the can was faded.
Correct.
I don't know how old that High Life was, but it was like an old school, like light brown, like on the can. Like, there you go.
I'll take that.
You guys have stack up your lights like little toy men, and I'll just have the nectar of the gods.
There you go.
The old man's drink from 1978.
Yeah, it was good. But it's 7-0.
Oh,
7-0. You got a veteran pitcher.
Well,
you had a mound visit in the first inning. A mound visit. What are you telling him? Like, I feel bad for Tommy Hotovy. Hey, man, here's a really crappy starting rotation. Good luck to you. Like, he's a good pitching coach. But when you got to go to the mound in the first inning with a 7-0 lead, what in the H can you possibly tell him? You might want to throw it over the plate.
Jeff, just keep your eyes on the ticker, please. I need to know if Arrieta's DFA'd this morning.
He'll end up, you know what they're going to do with him? He'll get on the injured list. He's got a strained lat.
I don't think he should be in a Cubs uniform anymore.
He's done.
No, I'm not doing the talk show thing. I'm serious. After yesterday, that's enough of that.
Right.
I don't care where you're going in the standing. That's enough of that. You know that he can't get it done anymore.
Agreed.
Up 7-0 and pitched like he was in full stress. Man, it's 7-0, man. Let it fly. If you've got nothing, you can't be on my ball club. I'm serious.
Like, if I was him, I literally he's made a fortune of money. Again, I don't know anyone else's finances, but you call Jed up, you go, dude, you want to buy me out? I'll walk away. Give me my pride. Let's settle this. Done.
Yeah, it's not I'm embarrassed for him.
Right.
Yesterday. That's enough of that.
He's done.
Whatever you think of like Davies with his 4 innings or whatever you think of the back end of that rotation.
He's still a competent pitcher.
That guy can't be on my team.
Arrieta.
Yes, that's enough of that.
He's done. The Cubs went from first place to 6 games back in a week. The season is over. Stop fantasizing. Well, if we would have kept Darvish. Yeah, if you would have kept Darvish, you'd be 4 games back and plummeting. You've got 0 chance, and it breaks my heart. What's next for this franchise? And then we will get into Josh Donaldson versus Lucas Giolito because it was awesome. That's all next.
David Kaplan.
Jonathan Hood.
Our new morning show. This is Cap and Jay Hood.
On ESPN 1000.
And the ESPN Chicago app.
Hey, since 1993, the only way to listen to WMVP has been on AM 1000. Until now. Your shows, your White Sox are now available in crystal clear digital FM on 100.3 HD2. And we want you to show us your dash. Take a picture of your dashboard while listening on 100.3 HD2. Go to contest at ESPN1000.com and submit your photo. It's presented by our great partners at First Midwest Bank. The first 1,000 fans are entered to win a backyard broadcast on the ESPN 1000 channel of Twitch.tv. We'll head to your house this fall for a football game, sidecast, and bring food, drinks, and other goodies. Chicago's Home for Sports is now available on FM 100.3 HD2. Show us your dash to win a bash. It's awesome. Again, go to contest at ESPN1000.com.
That is great. I mean, first of all, it's so simple to be able to just point and click using your phone, take the picture of you showing us your dash, 100.3 HD2. So let us know that you're watching. And then the ability, the opportunity to have a cast in your backyard, a Twitch cast.
Oh, God.
That's pretty dope.
That'd be really dope. So looking forward to it. You could chop it up with a bunch of friends about doing something like that. It would be a good time.
What are you doing with friends? What's that?
Chopping it up, kid.
Oh, I see. Looks like your co-host is black. Otherwise, you're not giving that chopping stuff.
Give me a little credit.
No. Yeah. Give me a little credit. It's good that you're listening.
Wow.
You were saying.
So, okay, we told you about the trip yesterday.
Yeah.
I told you a couple of days ago, and it wasn't like it was a revelation like as Sylvie put it yesterday. You didn't discover plutonium. But I've been saying this for a long time. I just threw the dirt on top of the coffin the other day and said that to Rizzo, and he did not push back. Rizzo did not push back. Back me up on that, Jeff. Rizzo did not push back when I said, Anthony, nobody wants you to win more than me. There's a lot of great Cub fans. Nobody more than me. It's over. That team is over. And he didn't go, are you nuts? We can absolutely win. No, there was none of that pushback. Right?
That's fair. A fair characterization. I don't know what he would have said.
If I was in his shoes and I believed that it wasn't over, I'd be like, hey, man, that's a bunch of you-know-what. We absolutely have a good team here. We can win. We could do this. We could do that. It's got to get right. Got to get healthy. None of that.
I don't know, though. He said, that's the narrative that's out there. I think he was a little more even-keeled, but he didn't push back. I don't know. It's a hard position to be in, right?
Yeah, I would have hung up.
So we get to the game, and I know where this thing's trending. I know what it was designed to do. If you set the fanboy part of it to the side, or woman, and you really look at what that team was designed to do at the start of the year, when your big moves are Trevor Williams, Zach Davies, Jake Arrieta, you're not trying to win. You're not. You have a preconceived notion that we got to blow it up, and that's probably accurate. And you're like, prove me wrong. Well, that's like having me pitch for them. They got zero chance. Okay, they had a good month of May. And then we found out what they were in June. They hit 185 as a team. 185. Chris Bryant, the MVP candidate, hit 115. 115! MVP candidate, my ass. I mean, come on, man. People want to hang on to the past. Well, those are our guys. We won in 2016. Yeah, it was the greatest sports night of my life. It'll never be surpassed. But let's also be fair and honest and take the rose-colored glass of, well, Mr. Ricketts only bought us one starting pitcher. We'd be really good. Well, unless that guy could pitch 140 times a year, no, we wouldn't be good. Because they're not good enough. Your shortstop that everyone wants to put on an altar, he's got a 265 on-base percentage going into action yesterday. Hoodie can look it up. I guarantee it's down. What is he, 250? That's horrible. Horrible. That's not batting average, folks. That's on-base percentage. Like, we send out a freaking telegram to the world. Hey, Javi took a walk. But make sure you give him $200 million. Make sure you give the third baseman $40 million a year. Mr. Ricketts is cheap. He won't pay those guys. Yeah, because the team stinks. It's not good enough, period. So clear the decks. Spend money in the offseason. Sylvia had a great line. Have a full checkbook when you go to the winter meetings. Full checkbook. Hey, Tom, I need another pack of checks. I'm writing checks. Because I moved guys out because they effed it up. They effed up by not moving guys out freaking 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Now you're going to get nothing. You'll get something for Kimbrel. You get a little bit. Like when they traded for Kyle Hendricks. Talked about this on the afternoon show, Hoodie and Sylvia and me. When they made that move, no one thought Kyle Hendricks would be what Kyle Hendricks is. So you got to have good scouting, good player development, and then go to the freaking winter meetings with a full pack of checks and go, hey, Trey Turner, how much? Here you go. We'll take you. Hey, that guy, I want you to pitch for me. Hey, that guy, I want you in my bullpen. Oh, Brennan Davis, you're a top 50 prospect now. He's number 45 in the game and getting better. Hey, Ed Howard, keep getting in shape, kid, because you're the future. I mean, Christ's sake, that team stinks. And it's just sad and a fact. And it was embarrassing to sit in that skybox, have a 7-0 lead, and look like the frickin' Bad News Bears out there. Period.
Well, you and I are watching this game yesterday and seeing the Cubs up 7-0, and I'm thinking, well, the Cubs at least can be able to hold on. I felt good about the Cubs. Again, I felt good yesterday about the Cubs, but again, overall, what you're saying is what I told you before the season, because you could see how the roster was set up, Cap. It was set up to fail. You were hoping that the offense would be able to turn things around, but the pitching, the starting pitching, was never going to be good enough. Look at what you were able to have there. I mean, if you really were trying to go for it, if you're Jed, you're saying, okay, I can find better than Zach Davies or Jake Arrieta or Williams, but he didn't. He banked everything on Hendricks, and everything else was just going to be gravy. I think that Jed Hoyer is a smart baseball man.
Agreed.
Knew that this team was going to get turned over this season.
Agreed.
He knew that. Mm-hmm. Look at the roster. Because you can always tell if you care as a team, you put your best foot forward and get the best players possible to contend. And he didn't see that. You know why? Because this horse has been dead for a couple of years offensively.
Agreed.
It's been dead. And so this is what you get. But to me, this is when you know that the Cubs have nothing left. You can say, oh, there's no KB, there's no Rizzo. That doesn't matter. Those guys could have played yesterday, and they could have also failed because of the starting pitching. You said that Lester, who wanted to stay here, wasn't good enough. And you brought in Jake Arrieta because you just think that he was going to be better, and he wasn't.
For double the money.
Jed told us.
Correct.
Jed told us, it's like, yeah, we were done with John Lester. Like, yeah, we could turn the page. That's fine, but you didn't upgrade that. Whatever you think of John Lester, at the time in spring training, you didn't upgrade that. So if you're the Cubs, it's funny that you talk about, having full checkbooks. That's great, Cap, but you're still not developing young talent. Say, you can come in there with the full checkbook and say, how much is this guy worth? How come that you can try to be able to take care of the main roster and try to add more offense. But what about your minor league system? You're still bereft of quality in the minor league system. Again, we have made the parallel of the Dodgers and the Cubs many times, right? How is it the Dodgers can be able to develop talent and still be a good ball club? You can do both. Theo did not look at the minor league system. He just spent money, and rightfully so, to try to win a World Series championship. Yeah, you go to the winter meetings with your checkbook. But what does that do for your minor league system? Now, if you are able to trade Bryant or some of these other assets, hopefully you'll get something in the minor league system. But that matters too. Don't just rely only on Ed Howard and a couple of guys. Get that minor league system right for two reasons. For the next generation of Cubs and trade assets. But you don't have much to trade now. The guys that you have in the minor league system, you don't want to get rid of those guys.
No.
You want to see Ed Howard develop.
Correct.
You want to see those guys develop. But then when I see some of these guys here that's on the main roster from the minor league system, like this backup catcher that had to step in for Wisdom, is that your future? A guy I don't even know his name.
Yeah, Danny, what was the name of the guy that went in to play first yesterday? Because one of the people in the skybox said, hey, is that one of our top prospects they recalled? I said, I cover the team. I've never heard of the guy.
Gushu?
Taylor Gushu.
Yeah, like who
is that?
Is that part of your future? Like the Marisniks, the Haps, all those guys. You got to figure out who you are as a franchise. To me, yes, you can spend some money because you said the Cubs will never be a 100-loss ball club anymore, right?
Correct.
We're done with those days, right?
Correct.
As you said, okay, but you still got to develop the minor league system. You see the difference between Rick Hahn and Kenny Williams?
Yep.
Kenny was trying, to his detriment at times, was trying to go for it all the time with veteran talent, and did have no value of the minor league system. I'll trade you all my minor league talent as long as I get a veteran here that can help us win today. You got to think about the future because here's the thing: you can spend money, but you got to turn this ball club over, and you got to be able to have young Cubs for the future.
Let me read you the batting averages real quick.
Do you understand my point, though?
Yes.
You got to do both.
And I give Kenny a lot of credit because he tried to win. Novel concept around these parts. And he won one. We've won 2 in 190, 200 combined years. I mean, I'm serious. We won 2. Kenny Williams, Theo Jed, Ozzie, Joe Madden. Like, understand that. We're not blessed with winners around here in baseball.
It's going to take you a couple of years, though, to try to replenish that minor league system and find guys for the future, though, Cap. It won't be one off season. You can open up the books and say we're going to have a $250 million payroll with quality guys. But what is that? Does that mean you're an automatic winner? You can still win the division, but that's not what you want. You want the World Series. But you want to have sustained success to get there.
Correct.
And the minor league system and young talent that you develop will help you get there and sustain yourself.
I mean, our batting averages yesterday, 231, 248, 244, 227, 295, 233, 183, 194, 201. I mean, 179. I mean, folks, wake up. This team is not good. Yeah, nice guys gave us a great thrill in 2016. Got us a bunch of playoff appearances. In the end, not good enough. Period.
I'd fire the hitting coach today. I'd fire Chili Davis again today. Because it's his fault, right?
Yeah, it's got to be Chili's fault because he was too hard on them. Josh Donaldson fired back. We're going to play it for you. If you haven't heard it, you don't hear it. It's actually refreshing to hear an athlete actually have an opinion. You could say, what a bad guy, whatever. He's a Twin. We don't like the Twins here. But if he was a Chicago athlete, we would love a guy like this. You don't want to miss it. That's next.
Don't miss the conversation.
Cap and J Hood.
Tell your smart speaker to play ESPN 1000.
Cap and Hoodie.
And listen to Cap and J Hood at home and in the office.
Now, back to more Cap and J Hood on Chicago's home for sports, ESPN 1000.
He's a pest. It's kind of a classless move. If you're going to talk to my face.
That's Lucas Giolito. We like him. He's a really good dude to deal with. He's a really good baseball player. But he and Josh Donaldson got into it after Donaldson took him deep the other day. As he crossed home plate, he looked into his dugout. I thought he gave a little glance toward Giolito, but he certainly said to his dugout, no more sticky stuff. Giolito didn't like it, and that was part of his reaction after that game.
Now, there's more to this that we've got to talk about because today, we look back at Donaldson's thoughts and Ozzie Guillen's thoughts. See, keep in mind, for those listening to us for the first time, I hate the Twins, and I don't use that word very often, but as a strong sports hate, a strong sports dislike for the Twins. And the reason why is because the Twins have been the hammer and the Sox being the nail for a long time. Yep. It's hard to watch that series and have confidence because the Twins have been good for a long time. Tom Kelly's Twins, Ron Gardenhire's Twins. I mean, they've been very, very good for a long time. And so this is why I get amped for this rivalry. And it is because the Sox are the underdog seemingly every time. Now, again, Sox are a better team, obviously, this year, last couple of seasons. But it's still the strong sports hate bubbles inside of me anytime the Sox play the Twins.
Yeah, it's a team, the piranhas that Ozzie called them. They were your irritant like I feel about the St. Louis Cardinals. So Josh Donaldson then, after Giolito said, say it to my face then. Come to me and say what you're saying on Zoom to my face. Josh Donaldson said, okay, see you in the parking lot.
He calls me a pest, right? Which is fine. Like, I kind of almost consider that a compliment. Like, you're not really supposed to like me being on the opposing team. So I'm fine with that. A couple of things I have a problem with, he calls me classless, to where I didn't think that I was showing him up during the game. I was talking to my bench. I didn't pimp a home run. I wasn't talking to him, saying anything. I mean, obviously, he showed offense to what I said, which I think kind of speaks more about the looming question that's going on anyhow, which is more about, was he using sticky stuff before this all happened in the first place? If he wasn't, then he probably wouldn't have cared about that comment, right? When you look at it, you say, all right, let's go look at his numbers. What do the numbers say, right? And what do we know about the sticky substance? What does it do? What does it help with? It helps with RPMs. It helps with spin rate. Well, guess what? Mr. Giolito, your fastball spin rate's down 200. Your curveball spin rate's down 400 or 500. Your slider's down 200. Look, if we're going to talk about class, what side are you going to choose? Are you going to take the side of someone who's playing the game fair? Or are you going to take the side of somebody that was probably cheating before this happened? And I wasn't going to go on air. I already knew all those numbers before all this. I could have came out to the media and said this and spoke on it before. I chose not to, right? I say that to my dugout because we all talk about it before the game. Trust me, it's a hot topic among all of baseball. And if you go look at my at-bats prior to last night off Lucas Giolito, I hadn't taken many swings like that off Giolito. The first pitch I see, I take him deep, and a ball that I hit 111 miles an hour, I'm kind of giving more reassurance to our dugout, like, hey, let's go get him. Because Lucas Giolito the past few years has been, a pretty good pitcher, and he's been tough, I'm sure, on this team as well as a lot of other teams. And the last thing that I had, he said, I wish he'd say it to my face, right? Well, I did say it to his face. We had a talk last night. Let's just be quite frank with this. He didn't have much to say. It's real easy to sit here behind a screen and talk tough. That's not what I was trying to do. I could have did that before the game. I could blast him all I want. I could blast a lot of guys. I choose not to. I didn't think it was that big of an issue. Obviously, he did.
Wow. Like, that's a guy who, love him or hate him, you got to respect that he sat down and he gave you his thoughts and he said, hey, man, here are the numbers, and here's what I'm saying.
Boy, that is the mark of a guy that's on a last place team. You got time to crunch the numbers, huh? Got time to do your homework on that. How about do your homework to get your team better? How about that? And did he seek out Giolito? Did he get the binocs out looking for Giolito so he can confront him face to face? Is that a Major League Baseball issue?
So, Jeff, he confronted him in the parking lot, correct?
That's what Donaldson said, and then he was asked the follow-up question.
Okay, and then...
What's that all about? I know it's Major League Baseball, and they've got no teeth, okay, because they're sleeping at the switch usually. You're not going to do anything about that? So you're going to go find this guy face to face? You want him that bad, huh? Huh? Let that happen in the NFL. See what that looks like.
There were no fisticuffs.
I don't care what it was. You're going to go seek him out?
Maybe it was a mature thing. Maybe it was, I wanted him to know that when I said no sticky stuff, I wasn't talking to him. I was talking to my team, and I wanted to clear the air. I don't appreciate him calling me a pest. So instead of going through the media, I'm going to be a man. I'm going to search him out, and I'm going to talk face to face. This is why I said what I said. This is what I did. And I just wanted to let you know. And if you've got a problem with it, talk to me about it. Maybe we should see the glass half full from Donaldson's perspective, that he wasn't trying to start crap with Gio and trying to fight with him. Maybe he was just trying to iron things out.
You want to fight him. When you do in the parking lot, that's fighting words, pal.
Well, where else are you going to see him? You're not going into they're not letting you in the Sox clubhouse.
You can be able to see him on the field. You can be able to find him within the ballpark.
But then everyone sees it.
In front of all the spectators.
Good. Witnesses.
Then what usually happens in the stands with the fighting is happening on the field.
Yeah, that's good. Going to seek him out in the parking lot, huh?
Okay, well, there was nothing physical happened. I actually think...
It's Giolito, so.
Now, I have no problem that he waited for him. He said, hey, man, I'm here. Don't be going to a Zoom saying that I won't say it face to face. Here's what happened. I want to make sure we're on the same page here. I'm with Danny on this one. I have no issue that he said it, but I also know that the numbers said that Lucas still pitched a really good ball game. Whether his spin rates are down or not, what did he give up, 2 runs?
I'd like to hear Giolito's side of it. Was he confronted in the parking lot and what was said?
Well, we should say Donaldson was asked what was said in the parking lot, and this was his response.
He didn't have really much to say. He said that he thought it was annoying. I said, so what? I'm on the opposing team. What do you care about me? And I said, I'm in your face. I'm telling you what I think. What do you got to say about that? And he didn't have any response.
So, there you go.
I'm in your face. What do you got to say about that?
Here I am. I will tell you.
Sounded very mature to me.
Bringer of Rain, that's what he is on Twitter. Bringer of Rain's a tough dude, man. He's a beast. He had a tough upbringing. That guy is a wow.
He's a wow. He's a tough beast. Wow.
He's a really good player.
Okay.
Really good.
All right.
And I think it's good for the game, man. It just makes the rivalry between the Twins and the White Sox, and the Twins stink, even better.
How about this whole thing against Ozzie Guillen, too? Does he not know Ozzie Guillen was like 160 pounds? It was no way that he was going to have a higher OPS than Josh Donaldson. It was a different game back then, too.
Correct.
Shortstops looked like kids. I mean, like Ozzie was a decent hitter, but not as far as on-base percentage and OPS. He throws out Ozzie Guillen, you were a career, under a career 700 OPS hitter. Yeah?
Okay.
That wasn't his job back then. He was a handy-dandy glove man back then, was he not?
He was a handy-dandy glove man, but I also believe, and we could play it, Ozzie's stats, and you're right, the OPS, not even close.
No.
But total hits? That might be a little different discussion. Donaldson insists Lucas Giolito is a cheater. Spin rates determine that. Mm-hmm. Do you believe that Lucas was a cheater using sticky stuff? Mm-hmm. 312-332-3776. We'll be right back.
Get social with our new morning show. Follow on Twitter @CapJHood.
Cap and J Hood.
Chicago's home for sports.
ESPN 1000.
Rolling on Cap J Hood. Fresh off a trip to Milwaukee where the Cubs just soiled themselves while the White Sox were pounding on the Minnesota Twins. And Josh Donaldson and Lucas Giolito were tangling.
Well, one thing for sure in sports we don't get enough of is guys with black hats, right?
Right.
It was something that we all grew up with, whether it was the Raiders or the Cowboys in the NFL, whether it's the Yankees from the 70s and 80s, whatever. You know, we don't get enough of athletes or teams that is like, you know what, when you see us, we're the bad guys. And so when I see the Twins, I see them as the bad guys. And I just think it's fascinating because it just continues to fuel another chapter in the rivalry of the Sox and Twins. So I think it's good from that standpoint for sure.
Yep, I love it. I love to hear athletes be that unfiltered and that honest. That was really cool. And from...
Well, it's not. No, it's not cool. As a Sox fan, it's not cool. Like you don't have a dog in the fight in this.
Right.
You're just watching from the outside and think that, wow, there's one athlete firing at another athlete or one athlete firing at Ozzie Guillen. But from my standpoint, those are my guys. Those are my guys that he's firing at. And with Giolito, I like to see if besides Rick Giolito on Twitter, I like to find out if Luke has another, bullet to be able to fire at the Twins. Does he have anything else to say?
Rick Giolito, we're in the bus yesterday. I turned to him and I go, Rick Giolito just said, all right, before I get myself in trouble, I'm tapping out.
Yes.
He's a good follow on Twitter.
I understand. Like, I just see if anyone else has anything to say. I just like that these two teams, or at least some of these players, don't like each other. And, Donaldson, without question, is a stick in the beehive. I get that. I totally understand that. So just another Twin I don't like.
Yeah, and by the way, people asking, who's Rick Giolito? That's Lucas's dad.
Yes.
He's
a great follow on Twitter for
he
sure.
Is. 312-332-3776. We'll get to these calls in 1 second, but Meller I wanted to play that Ozzie Guillen. So Ozzie said if he was managing, he would have had Donaldson hit in the ribs. And then Donaldson ripped Ozzie.
You go check my track record. You got a lot of people talking a lot of shit about me for somebody that's a 3-time All-Star and an MVP. You know, I'm not here to boast my own self, but like people forget, quit. I got Ozzie Guillen talking shit on the air saying that I'd let one go and hit him in the ribs. Ozzie Guillen, you were under a career 700 OPS hitter, man. You were a 3-time All-Star and you had under a 700 OPS. My worst season in the big leagues is 150 points higher than that. And this is also coming from the man that said he loves Fidel Castro. That's who we're taking advice from. What are we doing around here? Come on. People got to start realizing, you talk about 95, 98 mile-an-hour balls getting thrown at people's ribs. The same guy from New York said the same shit about me. Oh, hit him in the ribs. Hey, I'm just trying to make the game fair. I'm talking about, this is what I didn't make the rules. Buck Showalter saying, oh, hey, Josh, if you want to make the game fair, take off batting gloves and quit using pine tar. I don't use pine tar, first off. I use some spray. But if they tell me in the rule book not to use batting gloves and they tell me not to use spray or pine tar, guess what? I won't use it.
Yeah, so the New York guy he's talking about is Michael Kay, because we just talked about that just recently, and now Ozzie Guillen. Donaldson is part MMA fighter, part pro wrestler, part baseball player. You don't hear guys just cutting promos on people the way that Donaldson's doing.
But for a guy like you who loves pro wrestling, you know the MMA, and you are a baseball fan first and foremost over any sport, I think. Mm-hmm. That's wildly entertaining.
Oh, sure. Oh, absolutely. Too bad his ball club sucks. Imagine if he was on a good team and doing that.
Let's go to Alex in Naperville. Hey, Alex.
Hey, boys. Thanks for taking my call.
Hey, Alex.
Jay Hood, you sound a little like Jay Giolito right now. It sounds like you're getting a little offended that your team's getting called out for cheating, to be honest with you. It's 2021. Josh Donaldson isn't seeking somebody out in the parking lot to fight him. He just wants to be clear and clarify his words. Just because people like you are misconstruing him and taking like a WWE player, what did he say throughout that segment that wasn't true?
So you were there. He wasn't there to fight him, right? You were there.
You can't even be in a bar fight nowadays, let alone an MLB player with cameras. Yeah, he was going to go fight him in the parking lot. That's just so unrealistic. Come to reality.
Okay, well, your reality in Naperville is a different reality from me. You actually can fight somebody from a bar. Actually, you can do that. Here's the bottom line. Of course, when it comes to Giolito and what we teased earlier, I think a lot of pitchers, including Giolito, will take the extra step to be able to do what they can to get a grip on the baseball. Absolutely. This is why baseball's cracking down on it. That's reality, Alex. I don't know if you know that, but that's part of it. Absolutely. Bottom line is that I thought it was a different way for Donaldson to handle it. I think most baseball players would not seek out others to be able to go face to face, but clearly Donaldson doesn't mind having the chip on his shoulder. So, cite me another example of a Major League Baseball player or anyone else that's doing that, right? He does not mind confrontation. That's my whole point. I don't know if you get that, Alex, but clearly he does not mind confrontation. I'm saying that that's very rare in sports.
All right, Ozzie responds next in your calls. So hang in there. We're coming right to you.